How will you, as a federal representative, work to ensure more educational funding?
I don't know that a federal representative needs to work to achieve more educational funding. I like funding for education at the local and state level, because any time there are federal dollars, they are attached federal strings. And I think the people of DeSoto County know a lot more about what are the needs for their schools than somebody in Washington, D.C. And so I would be hesitant to advocate for additional funding because of fear of what the additional strings and standards that would come with them. When the people of Mississippi and the people of DeSoto County put their money into our schools can have and teach the values that are important to us. When we begin to rely heavily on federal funding for our schools, we also rely on the values of California and New York, and I don't think that's good for DeSoto County.
That really presupposes the idea, Robert, that federal involvement and federal spending improves education. I disagree with that. I think federal involvement really is a detriment to education. The people who can best educate the students in their area are the parents, the teachers, the principals, school board members in the locale. And really, education is one of the state prerogatives under our Constitution. It needs to be left in state hands. The federal government has certainly provided money, but they always have some tentacles on that money. They always want to determine what happens in the local school district. We need to get away from that. I think the federal government's involvement really needs to be pulled back, and we need to let the state and localities go to work and educate their children better. And while we're talking about this, Robert, another thing that has happened over the last 45 years in this country is we had a Great Society programs that provided increased welfare benefits to a lot of people who needed help, but they had a requirement that fathers couldn't be in the home to get these benefits. This requirement still exists for people who want government help. In order to get all that the government offers at the state level here in Mississippi, the social service agencies, they can get it, but they can't have a wage-earning male in the home. That particular requirement has absolutely brought chaos into our society for the last 45 years. The government's policies to pay people basically not to have fathers in the home has wreaked havoc on our society, blown up budgets, blown up local budgets as well as the national budget. And one of the things about that is when you don't have a stable family, when you have children coming out of instability like that, you have them unready to learn. And a lot of the things the schools are seeing is going on because of this system we've had for 45 years. We need to reform welfare, and dramatically we need to change it and really encourage families to exist. Men and women to come together in marriage and raise their children within marriage. That was the plan that began things in Genesis 1 and 2, and we need to go back to that. Because we haven't done that, we're seeing a lot of problems in schools, a lot of money being spent on the local level, and a lot of things that are detrimental to education.
I believe in our education system, but more so, I guess you could say I have very passionate feelings about DeSoto County. My father, Reverend James Thomas McGlowan, helped organize the first black school here in the 50s before civil rights, which is now Hernando Central High. My mother was born here in Hernando. My mother was a student at that school. My mother failed the 6th grade because she had to pick cotton in the field and she couldn't go to school. And my daddy helped create a school where she got her high school diploma. My father always taught us to put God first, and education is the key. So we have a problem here in Mississippi where our education budget has been cut, and that's because of Jackson, Mississippi. We have some folks in northern Mississippi. Some kids read on a 3rd grade level. They're in the 9th grade. We need to revamp our education system. Now, I studied under Bob Dole at the Better America Foundation. We did policy papers to help cut wasteful government spending. What I would like to do, and I come from a family of educators now. My daddy was one, I have a sister who's one, aunts and uncles, educators. I want to eliminate the Department of Education and give more monies to the states. In the state of Mississippi, we have no program across the board for children with special needs. and autism. In Lafayette County, where I live, teachers are being laid off. So we have people that want to work, that want to teach, but we're having to lay them off from their jobs, so they're going to have to find other jobs. Last year, the education national budget was $45.9 billion. And it's a big bureaucracy where there's a lot of wasteful spending, and we could use that money down here.